So I just got off work and I don't have time now to go find a river, a forest, a pond, a lake. So we're just going to go right outside my back door and see what we can find. It's been pretty dry for the last couple of weeks, but we did get rain yesterday, so hopefully it won't be too dried out. This little bug container I got for free. It came with my Andon Star, ANDONSTAR microscope, which I'll show you later in the video. It's actually kind of nice, so I'm gonna see if I can pick up some more from Amazon. So I'm not taking a lot of samples, so we'll just hope we get something. So the microscope that I was telling you about is this one here. It's nice because it has a less than 100 times zoom, so you can get a good overview of what you're working on. And from right off the bat, we found this baby slug. And you can actually see his eyeballs, and I'll zoom in a little bit here. So once you have your sample, go ahead and wet it down, and then we'll shake it around a little bit and get some of the water, and see if we can get some microbes to dislodge themselves from the moss. And we'll take a sample of whatever water we have around the edges and see if I get anything. Now the Andon Star microscope does have some traditional lenses that you can use that zoom in more than 100 times. The only problem is the stand that this is built off of is not very steady. So you'll see through the video here that it's shaky as ever. And if it's for your first microscope, yes, it's great. And if you're doing larger work, it's really good for that too. But when it comes down to getting to 40 to 1,000, it's so shaky, it's almost unusable. So I tend at this point to move it over to my AM scope, and the AM scope is a lot more stable, as you'll see here on this next shot. You can see everything a lot more clear. It's got a lot better glass, and it's a lot more stable. And what I'm hoping to find, since I picked up the moss, I was looking for a tardigrade or a water bear, and I didn't end up finding one. So I'll let you look around here with me, and you'll see your typical pond water type, some algae, rotifers, paramecium. I did not find a water bear. I did find something else. So let's watch the rotifer for a little bit, and then you'll see this strange thing I found that at the time I had no idea what it was. But we'll wait till that part of the video and I'll try to describe what I found. So this is that weird creature I found and had no clue what it was. And I actually used an external light, a little flashlight, to give it some side illumination so I could try to see a little more detail about what I was looking at, and that's when I saw the eye. So I'm looking at an eye there on the left and what looks like a stinger on the right. But as it turns out, it's not a stinger at all. What you're looking at here is actually called a springtail. That stinger actually would be against the abdomen of the bug, and then they would flick that, and that allows them to jump. So I was having some trouble getting any detail. As you can tell, you can't really see through it or see much of it. So I decided to change the lighting a little bit and see if I could get a little more detail. And with the slide moved and the lighting moved a little bit, you can now make out some arms on it. You can see the eye much better and where the mouth is, and even some hairs you can see on it. So at this point I decided I'm gonna keep him, and the best way of doing that is try to get him back into the container I found him, which was not easy, but it can be done. You just have to carefully remove his slide cover, double check that nothing's on it, or simply put some drops of water on it and let it drip back into your container. And then hold your slide diagonally so you can rinse it off, and the water should drip off and slide down the slide and back into your container. That way you can try to preserve what you've located. You can also, keep items on a slide in the right conditions, but that requires a humidifier and probably, at least in my case, a lot more money than I'm willing to spend. So you can get your samples back into your containers with a little practice and time. I did that in this case. You can see here I removed the slide cover, added a drop of water, and then I can see on the very left here that little silver speck. That is that springtail. So we're gonna put him back in the container, and we're gonna see if he grows. And I'll try to get a video out of that hopefully next week.